Thank you. First, I got to say how much I love this place. Over there, I lost my son when he was 5, and he decided to play hide and seek on the island for like about 4 hours. My favorite story was we rented a canoe and went around the lake, and the seagulls were flying overhead. They kept hitting my brother-in-law going to the bathroom on his jacket. So I thought it was hilarious, and at the end, we stopped. He says, here, I had loaned him my jacket. He says, here's your jacket back. But I think on a more serious note, when I just looked at the latest report on how to generate revenue for the Recreation Park Department, of all things they feature on the cover, you can turn around and look at those boats. That is on the cover of how to generate revenue. So that's very telling. And I think what's happened here is very unfair. I think that when you put someone on a month-to-month basis and then you turn around and say they don't take care of the place, something's very wrong with the system that will do that. The Rec Park created this very situation, and then when it came time to bidding, I think a lot of you know that a lot of the bidding problems here, the fix was kind of in, they had a better bid, and they still lost. So you have to start to ask yourself, what is going on with Rec and Park? I think this was a wrong thing that happened here, and I think this is indicative of what's happening with the city is no longer recognizing the citizens. They're starting to look more to the people who are making larger donations. So this to me is showing that how Rec and Park is taking away the park system from the very people that pay for it, use it, and own it, and replacing it with people from New Mexico. I have nothing wrong with New Mexico. It's just that why are they here when they had a perfectly good tenant who was willing to do almost everything if he just had a lease? And I hope Bruce wins his lawsuit. And I thank everybody for turning out. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Now I'd like to invite Kathy Howard or George up to talk about saving Golden Gate Park. There are a few other things going on that you really have to know about if you love this park. And Kathy Howard is the best person to tell you that. Thank you for coming today.
Hi, my name is Kathy Howard, and I volunteer with some groups, the Golden Gate Park Preservation Alliance and SF Ocean Edge. But if you do www.save Golden Gate Park, you'll also come to our websites. I met Suzanne in the course of going to Rec and Park Commission meetings where you talk and they are sort of like, you know, waiting for the meeting to end so that they can go off and do whatever they're going to do, because whatever they're doing, they're not listening. I follow the battle for the Boathouse. What am I supposed to do? Talk louder? Oh, okay.
Can we keep it down over there?
I follow the battle for the Boathouse. I follow the gathering of petitions. I saw the community support, and I was so impressed. Within a few weeks, they had 800 signatures on a petition. And they had all these people who want to donate to the park, they want to give, and they want to support the Boathouse. And they basically were ignored. Rec and Park turned their back on them. So Rec and Park, when they play their little "we don't have money and we don't have support" violin, ask them what about the 800 people who are going to support the Boathouse. Ask them why they ignored this large segment of the public and decided to just go ahead and change the vendor and this whole awful process. I think this ignoring of people in the city who love the park and want to take care of it is terrible. We are working on trying to protect the western end of the park, which you know is supposed to be the wilder end of the park. It's in the master plan, which was written by the department, and yet it is being ignored. What's happening now is they want to take 7 acres of meadow and they want to turn it into artificial turf. Artificial turf is plastic grass, gravel, and old ground up tires. You can't even dump these tires, but they're going to put them in our park. The other thing they want to do is put in 60-foot lights, and we have, my friend Nancy's wearing a hat with some of the light fixtures. There's going to be 240,000 watts of light out there, right next to Ocean Beach. These lights are going to be on every night from dusk until 10 p.m. We're talking every night of the year. The other project is they want to build a water treatment factory out in the park. You all remember the fight to get rid of the sewage treatment plant, and it was all supposed to be returned to parkland. That's also in the master plan. Well, they want to build another factory there, 40,000 square foot, 30 feet high, with a chemical building right near the soccer fields, and it's going to have 24-hour security gates and 24-hour lighting. And the first time that there's any problem with Homeland Security, that whole part of the park is going to become a hardened site. That is a Homeland Security site. It's going to be paved, you're going to see concertina wire. And this is the plan that Rec and Park has blithely said, I don't have any problem with this. So we want that project moved outside the park. The Public Utilities Commission has lots of land. They can build it on their own land, but not in Golden Gate Park. We have a vision for the park where it is natural, where you have trees and lawn and meadows. I don't think that's a radical idea. What we would like to see is the soccer fields. We support youth soccer. We like to see them fixed up with grass. We'd like to see some kind of gopher controls. There is a gopher problem. We don't want the lights. The lights are very damaging to wildlife. And the birds, there is no habitat with the lights. We'd like the water treatment plant moved out of the park, and we'd like that area returned to parkland and meadows too. So we have a table here and a petition, which we'll pass around, and we would like everybody, please sign the petition, please take a flyer, please call or write your supervisor, starting with Eric Marr, and please talk to the mayoral candidates. We're in this very strange thing called ranked choice voting. Every vote counts. So if you tell a candidate, you know, I'm thinking of you first, second, or third, where are you on this stuff? Where are you on fake grass in Golden Gate Park? Do you want Golden Gate Park to be natural or not? Ask them. Call their campaign office. We have the numbers. Talk to them and say, this is your important thing. This is the most important thing to you, because until we tell them that, they will not listen. They live on votes. They need votes. They are desperate for votes. And let them know that you are desperate to protect Golden Gate Park. Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to ask anybody who would like to speak to come on up. If you have a memory you'd like to share, or something you'd like to say, or get off your chest. And while I'm waiting for any of you brave souls to do that, I want to remind you that Mayor Lee has the power to fire Phil Ginsburg. He has been refusing to do that. Call, email, write Mayor Lee and tell him you will not vote for him unless he fires Phil Ginsburg. That's the only way he can get your vote. He doesn't like those phone calls, and they will get his attention. He doesn't like those emails, but they will get his attention. Please, if you care about our park, tell Mayor Lee he will not get your vote unless he fires Phil Ginsburg for all the corruption, all the backroom dealing, all the abuse of the Sunshine Ordinance, the ethics laws, good business practices. Let me go on and on. All the lawsuits he's embroiled us in. At what kind of waste of money. Is there anyone who would like to say a few words? Oh, come on up. This is Ron Schmidt, who we're happy to see today.
Okay, well, thank you. I just would like to say, first of all, that one of the bits of information that came out was that it would be appropriate for us to wear black today in mourning for the loss of the Boathouse. I couldn't bring myself to do that because I don't feel that I'm here to mourn. I feel that I'm here to celebrate what this Boathouse has become for me, and I think for most of us. This has become a community for me and an extended family, and I'm deeply grateful for that in my life. And thank you to Bruce, thank you to Jeff, thank you to Suzanne and Sandy, who I saw you, of course, on one of my walks early, a couple of years ago, I guess. You gave me a little flyer about getting involved in this, and I'm so grateful that you did. And so it's been really special. And Mr. Laws, I reminded him today, one of my other walks around the lake, I was coming along, and he was walking along with his son, it turned out, and so we put talk on each other, and his son is an artist, and he said to me, "Where did you get that hat? I need that kind of hat." because he likes to sketch in the sunlight and have the shade on his sketch pad. And so I told him Slope Nursery, and he went right out and got one of these hats. So, and his son is, by the way, John Muir Laws. And so, again, taking into account the whole history here. I'm deeply grateful for my experience here, and again, I see Jeff so often, and Nathan, and the other young folks who work here. I'm hoping that we will be able to continue that. And I love being able to meet the friends I see walking around the lake, Pat and Paul, and numerous other people here, and always saying hello to each other. And it's an extension of family, and I really appreciate that. So I'd like to applaud all of you in the program.
Thank you, Ron. And we have a special guest, another special guest, Nancy Warfel, who I think spends most of her life at City Hall, making it difficult for Rec and Park to pull off their lives. So to me, she's my best friend.
I want to thank the McLellan family for their strength. I want to thank the people that recognize the purity of what this used to be and how remnant it was of an earlier day, which is what the whole park is. But the most important thing that's happened today is I think that Mr. Ginsburg has awakened a very important giant, all of us. Because if we start to realize there are other concessionaires that deserve protection, the McLellan family has started us into thinking for the first time we cannot trust the Rec and Park Department to look out for our best interests. They've educated us to think that way. Also, they have told us that they don't respect us and they don't respect the parks. The parks have now become a dollar bill. All this is raw land to be put into revenue. In the old days, we used to respect our parks and our libraries and our valued services. And we were happy to pay our taxes, and that's where the money went. We underwrote these services. Now, they're supposed to pay for themselves. What happened? I just want to wake us all up and say, pay attention. We can no longer trust the Rec and Park Department. They do not tell us the truth, and they do not support our values. That's all I want to say. The movement has started.